Mariam, so nice to see you. Thank you for letting me know that. So very excited to see you all in a couple of seconds. We're going to get started. Let's count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. Mariam should be able to hear me right now. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that my mic was on mute. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's so lovely to see you all. I hope you had a fantastic long holiday during the Easter and Ramadan Eid. I hope it was wonderful for everyone. These are interesting times that we're living in. Every day there's something new to experience. Every day there's something new to think about. And during these challenging times, I wanted to take a few moments to reflect on what would be the most effective way for us to live a better quality life in the challenges that we are facing today. And that's where I thought, what's been the biggest breakthrough for me as a person when it comes to my life and the things that have changed the way that I live? And I realized that that was self-appreciation. The biggest breakthrough for me happened about 3 years ago, where I really recognized and realized that I didn't understand properly how to love myself. And it took a very actually energy consuming, time consuming, and thought consuming process to unwind and deprogram all the learnings that I had learned. So everything that I learned from my family, from my environment, from my teachers, from my friends, from individuals who were authority figures in my life, to kind of unlearn everything that was not serving me. And I'd like to share with you today how to do that for your own, because I think it's so essential that as human beings, we come to terms with who we are at the very present moment. All right? So let's get this show started. When we talk about self-appreciation, sometimes these words, we see them a lot on the internet, and they're communicated a lot in very different angles. So self-value, self-love, self-appreciation, and in fact, in certain aspects, they're related, but they're actually also very distinctly different from each other. So let's break this down into something very, very simple that we can kind of digest and make sense of. And prior to getting into this, I just want to let you know that you can join me at any time on the call on the broadcast on StreamYard by going to the Instagram link in my bio, clicking on that, and you will become a guest on the show, and you can share with me questions. I'm happy to answer and discuss any thoughts and ideas that you have about self-appreciation and how that applies for you. So I'd like to invite you to do that. If you're watching on Facebook, you're already watching the StreamYard cast, but you can also join by clicking on the link also on YouTube. So I really hope that you initiate and take that initiative, and it will create a better conversation between you and me, and we'll learn, all of us. Since this is a safe space and it's an honest conversation, we'll all learn from each other and kind of understand each other's challenges. Prior to getting started, I just want to say thank you for all the incredible people that took the time to respond to my post that I had put on Instagram earlier, 24 hours ago. And I asked, what are the top 3 challenges that you're facing when it comes to appreciating yourself? I wanted to hear from you, and I wanted to understand, what are you guys going through, okay? And so let's take a look at some of the responses that we got. I'm not going to name any names, but the responses are pretty amazing. So I've got someone saying, so it could be the self-doubt or negative thinking and my outer environment. So some of the challenges that this individual is facing when self-appreciating herself are negative talk, negative self-talk, and that's so on point. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Also, the doubting yourself, and at the same point in time, how our outer environment tries to affect and decide for us what our value truly is, okay? I can see someone, Yumi, you wrote procrastination. That's also a valuable topic. I'd like to see from what angle you experience that. Someone else is saying, how do I know my value in Arabic? So overcoming my own challenges, يعني تحدي نفسي, okay? Then we've got someone else saying facing fears, being consistent with your self-love, accepting your flaws. So there's a lot of fear involved in everything that stops us from self-appreciation, if you think about that, because most times the reason we don't appreciate ourselves is because we are fearful of something. يعني خايفين من شيء. We're feeling afraid of something specifically, okay? Someone else has written, thinking maybe that I'm not good enough in almost many things. And so also how we evaluate our self-worth, how we try to figure out if we're doing a good job, if we are reacting effectively to the world, if we're bringing out the best and matching the expectations of the world around us, that's definitely going to affect us too. We've got someone else who wrote, I was not appreciated in my last relationship, so sometimes I blame myself. That's fantastic. You think about it, how many times have you left a relationship and you didn't know why, or things ended in an uncomfortable way, and then you thought to yourself, what's wrong with me? What's missing with me? Where am I not up to the standards or requirements, or is it me? If you can think about that, has that ever happened to you? Have you ever thought about that? Someone else wrote, other people's comments about my looks and personality affect me a lot. So people tend to poke fun at us and bully us sometimes and are self-critical or critical of our own appearance and what we do and how we function, how we behave generally. So I think that that's definitely something that's going to contribute to lowering our ability, or is a barrier to us really believing in how much we can love ourselves as individuals, right? Perfectionism, so perfection, being hard on myself, a race to goals without resting. So this is another person that also said this, and I just wanted to say that actually, and it just came on point. Perfectionism, when you are always chasing perfection, that can be a great barrier to achieving a sense of self-love and self-appreciation. We also have someone else saying, I feel stuck in my place when I know I can achieve better, but I'm not. So sort of like, I want more, but I'm not really getting more. And so I start to devaluate and depreciate my value, right? Someone else has written, stopping too much on my faults and what I don't know. So kind of spending too much time there and thinking, oh my God, I did this wrong and I did that wrong and I could have done this better and I could have done this, I did this in such a horrible way. What can they be thinking at this point in time? And how does this affect me? And I don't know this. And what am I going to do since I don't know this? All these kinds of conversations that take place in our mind. And someone else also wrote, thinking that I should be faster, more productive, and doing things perfectly. So again, a lot of pressure to perform. If we break these into very simple concepts, okay, let's put them in the categories that we can all relate to. So you've got a category where you're trying to evaluate your value at any point in time. And when I say your value, it means your self-worth in relation to how you perceive yourself from outside of yourself. So if I look in the mirror, so if you wake up in the morning, you go into the bathroom or in your bedroom, you have a mirror and you stand in front of the mirror, what are the first thoughts that come to your mind? What's the first thing that you say to yourself? What's the first feeling that you get about yourself? Is it a feeling of love? Like, do you literally wake up, look in the mirror and go, hi, good morning, how are you? Considering that you probably need coffee, but still, are you the kind of person that wakes up feeling appreciative of what you've done and where you are in life, regardless of how horrible you've been at certain points, or how many things you failed at? Or are you actually very judgmental of yourself? Do you look at yourself and say, oh my God, and you start judging the details? No, my hair is not right. Look at my face, my skin, and it's all puffy. My eyes are puffy. So what I've noticed, and this is something that's irritated me a lot in relationships that I've had, is how autocritical my girlfriends have been in the way that they perceive themselves at a constant pace. So it's not like it ever turns off. It's just that they don't talk about it anymore, okay? It's not like there are moments when they're actually not thinking this. It's just that they're not actually expressing it anymore. And one time I had to sit down with someone I was dating, and I said, I just want to ask you, if you were to do an audit and just think to yourself, how many times do you judge, analyze, assess, or measure what's wrong with you during the day? How many times are those? What percentage of time of your day, or how many constant comments full of emotional charge? Like, because you say with emotions, you don't go say, oh, okay, I've got to fix my left eyebrow right now. You go, Habbe, there is a pimple on my face, right? So most of the times when you react to the things about you that you don't like, these reactions are stated with emotional charge. And when they're stated with emotional charge, they hurt. In fact, you are actually creating brain damage to your own neural wiring, okay? Because you're reinforcing the things in you that you don't want to see. So let's break it down into simple stuff. Let's say you want to buy a car and you go out to buy a car and you're thinking about the type of car that you want to buy and you're getting closer. So you think there's a specific model, let's say whatever, Toyota Corolla, and the color is black or white or whatever it is. Don't you start to notice it more in the road? The reason is that your brain has selective attention. So you've actually told your subconscious mind, this is important for me. So when we start to pay attention to the little things in us that we don't like about ourselves, in a moment, it's okay. But when it's a repetitive thing and I'm doing it over and over and over and over and over again, I'm actually training my brain to give that much more weight than everything else about me that's right with me. So let's just play a game of logic. I just want to break down these fallacies. If you have a pimple on your face, what space, real estate, does that pimple hold in consideration to all of your body? Or even just your face? Isn't it even less than 1%? So why do you give that pimple all the value? And why does that pimple define who you are? Why? Because the pictures and the standards that are communicated to us by marketing companies and advertising agencies and insecurities of others has brought us to such a point where we believe that if we don't look completely fresh, shiny, bright, incredible, amazing every morning and every moment of our day, then we are less than who we are right now. That's kind of crazy, no? And let me ask you, when you're sick, when you have nausea, when you're bothered, when you have a really bad headache, do you really care about any of this stuff? Does it hold that value anymore? Or do you decide to yourself, this is not the time for it. All I want to do right now is feel better. So what I'm trying to say to you is, if in the moments when God has blessed you with so much, when you feel fantastic, you feel great, everything's going well for you, you spend that time constantly depreciating your own value by assessing your own value, by saying to yourself and looking at and recognizing, searching for what's wrong with you, of course you're not going to be happy. Because all you've done is poison yourself in the times that are great, and then carry on that poison and say to yourself, see, that's why I'm not so good. This is the proof in the times that are not so great. And it becomes a cyclical cycle, sort of like the chicken and the egg. Sandrine, yes, you're always amazing. And look, I'm not talking to you about positive self-talk. I want to get out of the words of positive and negative with you. I just want to be honest. Why is it that in today's world, the truth has so little value in our lives? Why is it in today's world that we've decided that reality is no longer valuable? And a projected reality, so the fake things that we do, are more valuable. And we live lives based on our digital presence or our social presence versus who we really are. And look at that. Let me give you an example. I think with the lockdown in COVID, a lot of people have shifted to sort of like ecotourism and maybe luxury tourism. So luxury ecotourism. So people are enjoying going camping a lot more. People are going to resorts or booking cabins and villas and things like that, those that can afford it, of course. And they're enjoying more time in nature. And during that time in nature, you'll see that there's always that moment where the boyfriend or the husband or whatever it is, or maybe the other way, so even the flip side, both as a couple, and I'm not being judgmental, but I'm just being honest. Everywhere I go, I see ladies taking 150 photo shoots, and someone else, either a girl or a guy, are snapping away at the photos. And they spend the other day I was at the beach, and there was literally about 50 minutes spent of a young lady and her girlfriend constantly taking photos and her taking different poses. It was pretty much the very same pose. And I realized that she spent 50 minutes of that beautiful day. I'm not judging her, but I'm asking, what's the added value? To take one photo. And eventually you could see that she was getting more and more irritated. And so was the person taking the photos, until they got to a point where they fought in the end. They were around their early 20s. And then they sat down for about 20, 30 minutes in a bad mood because they put so much energy to try to create the perfect photo so they could get a little dopamine boost and feel a little bit better about themselves on a public level, whereas the beauty of life is right there. Look, you're breathing fresh air. The sun is shining on your skin. Feel the warmth. The water in the mist of the ocean, sense that smell, connect with what is real. That's what your brain was designed for. And so it's not her fault. I don't blame them. I don't judge her. I just ask, what kind of outcome? What's the quality of her life? If now at 21 and 22, she's so obsessed that she spends 50 minutes, her and her friend, taking photos, what's going to happen when she's 28 and 30, when the wrinkles start to show and she can't hide them anymore? How many Botox shots are you going to take? For men, it's even worse in certain aspects, because men today will not go down to the beach and take off their shirt unless they have a perfect six-pack. And they walk around like they're knotted. I know I'm making it extreme. I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to be honest with you guys. Let's really be real, all right? Let's take a look at some of the comments. True, we always forget and let the devil in us take control over us. Okay, interesting choice of words, let the devil in us. I don't really like those words, and I'm going to be honest with you because I appreciate you and I respect you. When we say we let the devil in us, what does that mean? Are we putting the blame on a part of us that we don't want? Because that part of you is there. You have a dark side, and it's okay. You have a nasty side, and it's okay. You have a pain in the behind side, and it's okay. You have an idiotic side, and it's okay. You have an unethical side, and it's okay. Because to self-appreciate yourself, it is required that you appreciate all of who you are and accept where you are and work then on getting to where you want to be, but you still love yourself in the process. If you have a son or a daughter who's 2 or 3 years old, super cute, you know, and that beautiful age when you really can't shout at them because you know everything they're doing is just purely instinctive, and they made a mistake, do you come to them and say, you're so horrible, you're going to hell, and they're 2 years old? If you do, you need some serious parenting support, okay? But most people won't do that. They'll say, it's okay, habibi. And then if the baby girl or the baby boy say, oh, mommy, I made a mistake. No, you're beautiful, you're amazing. Why is it that we can respect, love, and appreciate what's wrong or the things that we do wrong as children, and when we become adults, we pay that price and we put ourselves in a prison of our own emotions and thoughts? Why? What's the difference? Think about it. If you're not self-appreciating, you're self-depreciating. And just like everything you buy, there's a depreciation to it. There's a depreciation to your car, to your house, to the phones that you buy, technology, everything depreciates technically. As a human being, our body depreciates because we get more and more damaged cells as we grow. But our understanding should not. Our understanding and our ability to be at peace should appreciate. So we spend so much money, so much time, so much energy trying to be happy by creating filters and layers over what is really us. So if you grew up in a world where everything about you was something you didn't accept, then no matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you buy, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter where you go, it doesn't matter who you're with, it doesn't matter who takes care of you, you'll never be happy. You're just never going to be happy. It's not going to happen. Because at the core, the person who's supposed to be enjoying all these things is not okay with themselves. So starting to enjoy life and being at peace needs to come from a place where I accept who I am with all my faults in all my areas of development, and even the areas that are horrible with me that I don't want to develop. I want to tell you a quick story about a friend of mine. He's a really awesome guy. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. And he's got such a unique mind. And if he's watching, he's going to know that I'm talking about him, but it's really funny. So we've been friends for over 25 years, and we've had a really great journey together as friends. Like, we've had many, many experiences. We've traveled around the world and lived together for a while as we were trying to establish our own companies and businesses in the US and so forth. So it's not always easy to live with a housemate, who's on a completely different bandwidth, okay, than you. So you could say, like, I'm Mix FM and he's nostalgie mixed with like classic rock and something else. So I'm the guy that wakes up in the morning, I'm all happy, I'm high energy, and he wakes up in the morning and you can't talk to him for 2 hours. I'm the guy who wakes up in the morning and my room is perfectly neat and everything is organized, everything's structured. And he's the guy, you wake up in the morning, you walk into his room, it's like, a bomb exploded. And literally, I don't know how he gets the clothes to hang on the wall, but they do, which is really funny, right? But he's a super cool guy. So anyways, 20 years forward, I was in a country here in the area, and it so happened that he's also living in that country, and we decided to meet up for dinner and a drink. And we're having a chit chat, and he looked at me very calmly, very, very, like as if he's in deep thought, and he said, "John, I want to ask you a question." And I said, "Yeah, sure. Ask me anything you want." He said, "You've been a coach and developer of human capital and all these kinds of things for such a long time." I said, "Yeah. Are we best friends?" I said, "Yeah, of course we're best friends." He's like, "Okay. So I'm just wondering, how come you've never coached me?" I just had a few seconds thinking. I was like, that's true. I've never coached him. And I said, "Well, to be honest, I'm not sure why, but have you ever approached me with anything that you wanted to discuss with a coach? Like, is there anything about you that you would like to work on, with a coach?" And then he's like, "No." So I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Is there anything you want to improve in your life?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Is there anything in your relationships, anything in your fitness?" And he's got a belly. He doesn't really care. He wakes up in the morning, super happy. He could have not shaved for 10 days. He's super happy with that. He's the kind of guy that is somewhat the extreme opposite of me in some aspects, okay? And anyways, I asked him like 20 questions. I'm like, "Ya khayy, do you want to improve this? Do you want to improve that?" I'm just searching, okay? And everything I told him, he's like, "No." I'm like, "Why are you asking me if you want me to coach you?" And he's like, "I don't know, just wanted to see if you would." I wanted to choke him. So what I'm trying to say is, it's really interesting to look at this individual who his standards in life are based on simple stuff. And he really knows how to enjoy them. There isn't a day I haven't been around him when he doesn't laugh. He doesn't care if he's drinking the most expensive vodka in the house. He just prefers normal beer. He doesn't care if we went out for dinner and had a steak. He enjoys it, but it's not necessary. He's happy with the shawarma. He doesn't care if we're going out somewhere or meeting up with people and he's dressed in what we call branded clothes. He just wears a comfortable pair of shoes, nice jeans, easygoing shirt, and pretty much that's the maximum effort he's willing to put into the process. So one of the awesome things that I remember about him all the time, and I say cheers to you, buddy, if you're watching, is that he's super fun to go out with. Because when you go out with someone like this, all he's focusing on is the moment. He's just so happy to hang out with people, interact with them, that he doesn't really have any side thoughts that are going on about who he is and where he's going and what he's doing with his life. So the wisdom that I'd like to share with you from the story, because it's a real story, is that I learned from him that day. He was my mentor when it came to the questions that I had to ask myself, honest questions about How much of a load am I carrying on my shoulders when I go out and I'm thinking about all the things I want to accomplish in my life? And if I imagine right now that I got to these goals, so let's do it together. Just imagine you're going out right now, you're about to go have dinner with your friends or going for drinks or to dance or whatever it is, depending on whatever your culture is and your understanding, and that's cool. Before you go out, how much effort mentally do you put in assessing and analyzing what you should wear and what you should? I'm not saying don't look good. I'm not saying don't put effort into it. I'm just saying do it because you desire it, not do it because you're concerned about how people perceive you. So do it because it's an enjoyment. You like the fabric, the style, the look, the color for you. Just don't do it for others. You understand what I'm saying? Be beautiful for you. Be comfortable for you. Be classy for you. Be lovely for you. Be real for you, not for anyone else. And by being true to you, you're going to lose some friends that are no longer going to align with who you really are at the core, but you're also going to gain some friends who appreciate you as you are. And when you spend time with these people, they will become your chosen family, like a friend of mine said a long time ago, because they are the individuals who take you for who you are and enjoy you as you are and celebrate you for what you are without asking you to change. And that is love. That is self-appreciation. That is saying to myself, you know what? With everything I've gone through in my life, with all the challenges and all the difficulties and all the pain, the fact that I'm still standing here today, the fact that you're still standing here today, the fact that you're still searching for growth, the fact that you're very much watching this video is a testament to how incredibly awesome you are. So who's to say otherwise? Who knows you better than you? Who knows your sacrifices better than you? Who knows how much love and care and support and appreciation you've given to others better than you? No one. So why be your worst critic? Why not be your best cheerleader, cheerman, whatever you call it? Just try this for now. I'm going to recommend a little challenge until next week, that from this moment on and for the next 7 days, invite yourself. Just ask yourself, what would my life look like? What would my day look like? What would my mood be like if I decided to eliminate all self-judgment for just 7 days? And just take it 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time. And anytime you judge yourself, just recognize it, be self-aware of it. All I want you to do is focus inwards and just listen to what you're saying and how you're treating you. You'll be shocked at how harsh and mean and unfair you are to yourself. That if you are like this to yourself, how are you capable of loving anybody else? Real self-love starts with you. Because if you treat yourself well, then you're going to treat everyone else even better, because that's your standard. Not the fake standard to try to get something where you manipulate people, but the real standard that happens without having to spend energy, at which point it becomes amazing. Yeah? Bye. I gotta go. Time's up. It's 30 minutes of incredible conversations with you beautiful people. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this. If you find this interesting, share it with someone who could listen to this. You can tell them to fast forward to the last 5-10 minutes, whatever you want, whatever you feel is of value. Because when you share this, it's not about exposing me. It's about sharing the wisdom. This is not my own wisdom. I'm just like you. I'm on the journey of discovery of what is true. And age does that. Age helps a little bit. So by getting to 41, I can tell you right now, there's a lot of things I worried about when I was 25 and I just really do not waste energy on anymore, okay? And I wish I knew what I knew now, which probably everyone says, but I'm also grateful that I didn't, because I appreciate who I was at that time. That was the best version of me. I did the best that I could. And right now, in this moment, on this live, in this second, based on my current mental capacity, my emotional capacity, my physical capacity, my understanding, and all the challenges that we face every day in our life, I am doing the best that I can. And that is enough for me. And that gives me peace. And I know you can see it in my eyes. And that's why I just want to share that with you. All right? God bless you. Love you. Take care of yourselves. Have an incredible and amazing weekend. And see you next week as we continue to grow, adapt, and hopefully become wiser and bolder. All right? Here's the music. John K out. Have a beautiful weekend. Catch you guys later. Feel free to send me comments. Share this with everyone you know that can benefit from it. All right? And let me know what you'd like me to talk about next week. Until then, ciao. Bye-bye.